It's a good day to have a good day. Hello, everybody. My name's Cece Ray. Thanks for joining me. We are talking Vanderpump Rules. Season, what? 11? Episode, I think, 13. We are getting ready to pump up for the finale next week, I believe. The finale is next week. It's going to be Kyle's launch party in San Francisco. It's crazy that we've gone through an entire season. So, it's amazing, to be honest. I have a lot of questions, though. I have to admit, I know, like, this season came off Sandoval, and there was a lot of emotions attached and everything, but I just can't put my finger on it with Ariana. I don't know what it is, but I am going to figure it out. But you know what we do. Let's get into it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish. We are talking Vanderpump Rules, Season 11, Episode 13. So let's get into it, shall we? It starts off with Katie and Ariana at, that's right, their sandwich shop. Something About Her. I do love that title, by the way. I mean, I really do. There's something about that title, too. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Penny, the person that they were doing business with, she holds the trademark for that, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be a little sticky because, I don't think they have a relationship with her anymore. But at this point, they are meeting up with Lisa Vanderpump. She comes in and she's questioning them about, the contractor making sure there's wheels on the refrigerator and etc. And this is all to make sure that they pass inspection. And, the crazy thing is that Anne is there, too. Remember, that was Tom's assistant, Anne. She now is with Ariana and Katie. Who could have thought that was going to happen, right? And so that was kind of interesting to see. But they start explaining about Penny, how they offered her a salary plus 10% of the profit from that location. When they say that location, I'm thinking that they want to expand. However, the sandwich shop still isn't open yet. I mean, we've been talking about the sandwich shop for what, like 2 years? And so, but Penny, I guess, isn't really happy with that. And so they're kind of thinking, they're right on that edge right now about, maybe not working with her. And Lisa's really concerned about this because she explains, like, Penny has helped her in her restaurants. She's amazing. And, she really thinks that Penny can help these girls. And if they get rid of her and don't work with her, the sandwich shop might not open. That's what she's thinking. So we will see. I know that they just announced on Watch What Happens Live that the sandwich shop would be opening May 22nd. Keep that date in mind, people. Let's see if it happens. And then we see Scheana. She walks into Kyle's store, and she's there to go over the plans for the party because she's going to be singing at the party. And then here comes Sandoval right behind her. Then she's kind of like, oh, like, what are you doing here? And, Kyle explains that, he's done like 30 shows and, so he knows exactly what they need and how to get the show running. And so Tom's like, absolutely, I'll do anything for you, And Kyle's like, there's nothing better than a free manager, which is true. But in Tom's interview, he explains that Kyle has really stood by him. And he would do anything for him. He was really emotional talking about it. And I do know that Kyle is one of the only people that stood by him. And even though he was always honest with him, he was right there. And like Tom said, he pretty much saved his life. So he would do anything for him. But Sandoval and Scheana sit down and with Kyle, and Kyle explains, look, I'm a little worried about what happened at the pool party, because he doesn't want this happening at his party for sure. And so Tom goes off and apologizes to Scheana. He's like, I should have never said that, should have never brought your past up. And, Scheana says to him, look, I miss you. Like, you were, a good friend to me. You always had my back from day one. And you know what? When you look back through all the episodes and all the seasons, they got into it here and there. But for the most part, Sandoval really is the one that had her back, And we did find out that when we were in COVID and everybody was locked down and she was pregnant, he gave her $10,000. I mean, he just put it in her account because she needed it. And, you don't forget when somebody does that for you. You know what I mean? And so she was explaining to him, I had to choose a side. And I chose her because she did nothing wrong. And he's like, I understand that, but why does there have to be a line drawn in the sand? And it's true. Why does there have to be a line drawn in the sand? Yeah, he did obviously a horrible thing to Ariana, and it affected the whole group. I get that. But I mean, they've all cheated. They've all done this. Why is it that he's getting beaten up? Just saying. I have to agree with them on that. And then, so in the meantime, Lala's getting ready for her birthday party, and Katie's there with her. And Lala's like, God, I hope, Sandoval doesn't think he's invited. So she decides to FaceTime him and pretty much disinvite him to a party that he wasn't even invited to, which is a little crazy. But, he took it really well. He was like, no, I understand. No, I'm not coming. I wasn't invited. And he says, happy birthday, Lala. And she's like, thank you, And while they're FaceTiming, she sees Scheana there. And, of course, there goes Katie with her face expression like, oh, God, that type of deal. And so they end that conversation. And then we go to Lala's birthday party. And, of course, everyone is there but Sandoval. And, they are at, maybe a drag strip show. It was something like that, but it looked like it was a lot of fun. Don't get it twisted. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun. But, Brock didn't know which way to look. He was like, oh, my God, please don't let them come over me. I don't know where to look, And he explains that up to the age of 14, he was raised in the Mormon religion. So I can definitely understand why he acts that way. And so then Lala says to Ariana, I want to let you know that I FaceTime Sandoval just to make sure, that he didn't come and, he wasn't invited or he wasn't going to show up with shorts or something. And Ariana's like, yeah, that's good. And Lala says to Scheana, why were you with Sandoval today? And so Scheana explains that, he's going to be basically the stage manager for Kyle. And so he's getting, all the equipment and everything together for the show. And so that's why he was there. And she tells them, he apologized to her. She felt it was real, And she says, I told him that I miss him, and I'm really hoping that we move forward because, and Lala's like, yeah, I think we should be able to at least coexist with each other. And, Scheana's like, yes, exactly. But Ariana, no, she didn't think that way. She's sitting there and she's like, pathetic. This is so annoying. And then in her interview, she says, this guy doesn't give a crap about Scheana. He treats her like crap all the time. He's not your friend. I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, yes, they have gotten into it here and there, just like everybody else. I mean, they've been together for how many years? But I don't know. I've always seen him actually having her back. So I'm not quite sure where that's coming from for sure. But it looks like that everybody had like a really, really good time. You know what I'm saying? And so, I just don't know about Ariana. I'm telling you, there's something. I'm going to figure it out. There's something. But, they are getting ready for San Francisco. Brock is doing a Roaring 20's party the first night they're there. And they're talking about doing a boat ride that goes underneath the bridge. So I think that would be really, really fun. And they think it would be fun too. So right now we're going to take a break because I want you to see something very important. I'll be right back. Hi everybody, it's Cece Ray here. And today I want to talk to you about vaginal dryness. No, I'm not going to talk to you about vaginal dryness. But what I do want to talk to you about is vacation. Vacation's all I ever wanted. Okay, I digress. However, vacation, whether you are planning a family vacation or maybe a weekend getaway with the girls, or in my case, the bittersweet drop-off day of my daughters at college. Need a place to stay for that. But what I can tell you is how to find the lowest rates. And no, it's not some big system. It's literally one step. Ready? Go to familypalette.com. The link is listed below. Scroll down to book your vacation. Put in your destination. It's going to take you over to Hotels Combined. They have an entire list, not just one or two, the entire list that is out there of low rates. I'm not playing. If I'm not traveling for a client, I am always using this. I'm not joking because it gives me the lowest rates. I also like their filter system. Maybe I want a restaurant. Maybe I want to make sure there's a fitness center. You can put all that in there. Maybe you're going to a wedding and you want to see how far away the hotel is from that event. You can do that. Yes, you can. So it is so simple. Why pay the extra money? Keep it in your pocket for fun and exciting things to do. You know what I mean? What do you got to lose? Just try it, right? familypalette.com. Scroll down to book your vacation. Put in your destination. It's going to take you over to Hotels Combined. I'm telling you, you're going to thank me. Make sure you let me know. So we're going back into recapping Vanderpump Rules, season 11, episode, I believe, 13. And we'll pick it up with Ariana and her boyfriend. They are out to dinner, Dan. I like Dan. I do. I like Dan. I think they have a really good chemistry together, to be quite honest. It's a little weird that they got together 18 days after Sandoval, or Scandoval, that is. You know what I mean? Now, Ariana says, well, they met. They weren't really dating. No. You met 18 days and continued the relationship to date. So you didn't just, say, hey, give me a call sometime, and 2 or 3 months later he called. It was not like that. Again, there's something I think we're all missing here. I really do. Anyway, so they're talking, and, they're talking about him going to San Francisco with her. And, everybody's going to be there. And he's like, everybody? She's like, everybody. And, he's like, awkward. And she says, I think Scheana said that she thinks that Tom's going to, try to come up to you at the airport and, shake your hand. And he's like, yeah, I don't care, And then they're talking about, how they don't get a chance to see each other very often. A lot of the times, she's just going to bed when he's waking up. So one's saying good night, one's saying good morning. That's because they're bi-coastal too, which, that does happen. And this is her first long distance relationship, and she's just kind of going with the wind. But he seems nice. I mean, I do think that they have a good chemistry together. And then, of course, she was saying, you could move here. And he's like, we're going to have to talk about that. I guess they would have to talk about it, because he does do several jobs. Like you said, he works 7 days a week. He's very, very busy. And so how would he do that if he moved to LA? I have no idea because I don't know what he does. And then we are now at Tom's show. His band's performing. His mom is there. We got a chance to see her. Haven't seen her for several years. And James pops in to support him. And so does Schwartz, which I thought was really great. And guess who was in the audience? Joe. Yeah, Joe was in the audience. So they start performing, and, Sandoval says, the energy from the audience, it's electric, and everybody's just there having fun, and it's so much better than, like, where, when Sandoval happened, people were, like, throwing things at him, and now everybody's there, and he says, they saw my name on the billboard, and they chose to walk in. Think about that. So he was really happy that everything went well. And so when they took a break, Schwartz says to Joe, let's go get some air. So Schwartz and Joe go out there, and Schwartz is, like, how you been? How's your break been? Like, you broke this girl's heart, by the way, just to let you know. And you're asking her how the break has been? How many guys have you banged? What's wrong with you, Schwartz? But apparently she's going to San Francisco with them. I didn't see that coming. And, he's explaining how, he kind of feels awkward because he doesn't want to give the wrong signal, and, they're only friends. But I have to tell you, these two, I mean, when they're together, like, they really are funny. I mean, I really like her energy. I know that's not the popular opinion, but I do like her energy, and she seems so happy and, smiles all the time. I mean, she's a beautiful girl. And Schwartz is explaining how, he misses her. He misses her being around. And so, they're playing around and everything, and he's like, in 8 years we're going to get married. And she starts saying, like, this is the problem right here, He's like going this way and that way, and then goes this way and that way. And, when he says something like that, she takes it to heart. Like, there's a chance for them to be together. And I don't think he gets that. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't think he gets that. But that's how she sees it. So San Francisco should be a little interesting, I guess. So now everybody's going to San Francisco, and Lala's talking about her first impression of Dan. Listen, I'm right there with her, because she says, listen, he says, like, she's the one. She's like, how can you say that when, she just got out of a 10-year relationship, 18 days later, basically, you met her. And, she's saying, like, she still lives in the house with her ex. Like, how do you know, like, she's the one? Like, she's like, isn't this a little crazy? Like, is anybody else thinking this way? Which I totally get. Listen, they might be together forever. I mean, sometimes it happens that way. I'm definitely not judging. You know what I'm saying? They do look like they have a really good chemistry. And much better than what Ariana and Sandoval had, honestly. So then, Sandoval's talking about how, like, Dan's there and he doesn't want to make anything awkward. So, he's just going to lay back, lay low, not say anything. And because he doesn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. And so they are in the hotel room, and Lala comes in, and no, Lala didn't come in yet. They're just in the hotel room checking in. And you find out that Dan's going to be doing his own thing. He's not going on the boat ride. So, he's going to go work out or do whatever. And Ariana's like, I'm going to be on the boat ride with my ex type deal. So they get on this boat ride. It's really cool because, it does go under the San Francisco Bridge. But because of the time that they're on this boat, not only is it cold, but, the water is choppy. Choppy. Schwartz, they're getting ready to go on the boat, and Schwartz and Sandoval are standing, at the side. And Schwartz says, I'm really glad now that I don't have so much rage for you. And he's like, you had rage for me? And he's like, yeah, and it has to do with the business. And Sandoval starts explaining, look, they're him, Schwartz, and Greg are trying to somehow move forward. And he's hoping that a year from now, Schwartz and Sandy's will be where they really wanted it to be. I don't think that happened. I'm just saying. Schwartz turns around and says, listen, I really thought about moving in with you. He's like, so I'm gonna do it. And he gets down on one knee and he's got this plastic ring and he's like, it is too funny. These two, they're always going to be friends. You know what I'm saying? They've been friends for so long. So he's now decided to move in with Sandoval. I'm not quite sure how that'll go, but, we'll see. Anyway, so they're on the boat ride, and Sandoval says to Lala, that the first trip that him and Ariana ever took was to San Francisco. And she's like, that's sad. And he's like, no. He's like, it was happy time. And it probably was, because they had just started dating. And when they get off the boat, Brock and Ariana are having this deep conversation about forgiving. And he's trying to say to her, that it's not just for her, or him, it's, also for his wife. Because, his wife is split because she really does care about Sandoval. And Ariana's her best friend, And Ariana, hello. She just turned around and was like, you do not have to forgive anyone who traumatizes you. It was a little interesting conversation, to be honest. Just saying. Anyway, so now everyone's getting ready for this morning 20's party. Lala comes into Ariana's room and she finds out that Dan is not going to the party. And so that was kind of interesting for her because she's And then you see James and Allie, and oh my God, James. Hello? What is wrong with you? He's in this big bubble bath. Huge bubbles. He's like a little kid. That's what he's acting like. And they're talking about it too, about Dan not going, and he's like, maybe he just has so much rage. You just never know because nobody knows him, So it's kind of interesting. And then they go to this Roaring 20's party. Everybody's dressed up and, they all go and sit down. It's a beautiful restaurant. And I forget who noticed it, but Tom and Ariana, Sandoval, and Ariana are wearing the same shoes. Well, Ariana didn't really like that thought at all. And then Ariana gets up and Katie gets up and they go and they're like, let's take a look at the bridge. And Schwartz comes over and he's like, I'm so glad we're friends. And Ariana's like, we're friends? And he's like, yeah, we're friends. And then, he's talking how he doesn't feel like he has to tiptoe around Katie or Ariana anymore. And, but then Ariana leaves and it's just Katie and him. And he's like, we are friends, aren't we? And Katie's like, yeah, we're friends, but, don't take it for granted. Well, they're friends now because she screwed Max. But before, she wanted nothing to do with Schwartz because he kissed Raquel. But now that she's done it, it's okay to be friends. Just putting it out there. And so he proposes that they have a one-night stand. And Katie's like, yeah, I don't think so. It was kind of funny. And then Tom and Scheana, Tom says, can we go talk? So they leave the group and they go by themselves, and they're in another beautiful part of a restaurant next to the water. And, they're like, how you doing? And, how I'm doing and all this stuff. And so he starts going over everything, that there's going to be a sound check and a sound guy. And, like, he's the best of the best. And, so she'll be fine. And she's like, oh, I can't wait. And, she asked him, or no, he said something about Dan being there. And he's like, I don't want to make anything awkward, so I'm going to be gone all day. I'm just letting you know. And, Sheena's like, how do you feel about that? And he's like, when I first heard it, he's like, I'm glad she has somebody, because that was the one thing I was always worried about, was her mental health. And so if she has somebody with her, then she can deal with things better. And Scheana goes and says to him, do you think that you could apologize for exposing her mental health and like kind of weaponizing it to the public, because you said things that about her mental health that were private, that she didn't even want exposed, and you did it. You kind of weaponized it. And she's like, I don't want you to respond to me right now. I just want you to think about it. But she's like, do you think that you could apologize just for that? And, he's listening, and he's like, I hear you, So, they give each other a big hug. And when they're hugging, you can really see that he genuinely cares about her. Like, I don't know where Ariana's getting this, because he genuinely cares about her. And, like, look, we all know Scheana. She wants everybody to get along. That's how she's always been. And so that was the end of the episode. Dun, dun, dun. So what'd you think? I think this one was a good episode. Last episode was like a want, want, want. This episode had a little bit more things going on. They're building up to the finale. And so I liked it. I definitely liked it. But I want to hear what you thought. Make sure you comment below, because I love to hear what you have to say. And also, don't forget, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish.